Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniature, and we're back with some more Arena Rex models because I really seem to be going down some kind of pseudo-historical, gladiatorial road of miniature building lately. So why not go with some of the best choices out there, right? So we got two new Arena Rex models, at least new to us, not the most recent. I think Cato here actually was a more recent one. Cato, I'm not sure. This is the Exile. He is a mercenary style gladiator that you can use with any of the Luduses, whereas Septimus here is part of the Ludus Magnus school. So we'll start with him. Nice thick clamshell packages. As always with Arena Rex models, you get the full big art card with all of the details about the fighter on the back. It's always nice to have a little bit of a backstory. You have their actual stat card, and the whole flow of battle in Arena Rex is pretty unique, I feel. And if you're curious about the rules, by all means, you can go check it out, and I will put a link down below, and then all the special rules are explained on the back as well. So it's pretty handy-dandy. I know they do offer up a printed rule book, but I believe the rules are still available for free on the website. So do check it out if you're curious. Base Arena Rex. And then your activation token. Why don't we take a look at the actual model then? So he is completely resin, no fragile metal bits. That's my one big thumbs down, is sometimes the metal parts are so thin. It's very difficult to work with. Thankfully, this doesn't look too bad, actually. The spear in resin actually looks a bit thicker than some of the metal ones I've dealt with. Overall, there is a little bit of cleanup necessary, but the details really do come through quite nicely. Now, getting these guys to actually stand on their bases, you're on your own on that one. I do recommend pinning them. I've pinned a few of mine so far. They can have very thin, tiny contact points, but I guess that is the trade-off. If you want interesting, exciting, dynamic poses, you know, you are going to do a little bit of the heavy lifting in terms of modeling, but the sculpt, really quite nice here. Now, whether I can actually do that paint job justice is an entirely different story. Here we have Cato. I'm going to go with Cato. Cato. Again, full color art card. And I can't think of the artist's name at the moment. I will put it in the description, but they were involved with quite a bit of Kingdom Death artwork. Actually, a lot of people here were on the peripheral of Kingdom Death, so it's got a whole bit about him there. You've got your stat card here. Interesting, his is a little bit different. And an alternate unhelmeted version, which has some of the extra rules that he has available as a cohort of exiles. So you can mix and match your gladiators in the arena a little bit more that way. Oh my goodness, and everything seems to have fallen off the sprue. I hate when that happens. Okay. So again, a little bit of cleanup, but you know, if you're playing with resin models, it should not be that big a deal. And overall, it's a really sharp, nice sculpt. I'm hoping that crack, yes, it is supposed to be there. Okay, that is an intentional crack in his gladius. You can see it right there. Fighting with the best of equipment. Banged up shield, and you do have the option for both helmeted and unhelmeted heads. Flash out of your face there, my friend. Whee! And of course, we've got the extra base and activation token. So I'm going to go get these guys finished. We'll go grab a couple of our other painted arena members, grab a few other gladiator models we've got ready to go, and we'll see how they all turn out. Alright, I got Septimus and Cato all put together here, and hopefully these guys are a little bit better at selling the level of detail on these Arena Rex pieces. This guy in particularly, Septimus here, is really neat looking. I really dig this. In fact, this was one of the models that I almost pulled the trigger on the original Kickstarter, and I had to resist. I was spending too much on there as it is. But thankfully, we're past those days of pinch and pennies, and we're able to enjoy our hobby to the fullest. So yeah, Very dynamic pose. Thankfully, he's got both of his feet on the ground. That's a big no-no in my book. Unfortunately, I did chip the shield trying to get it off of the resin gates or whatever they're called. His friend Cato here. Now, his shield is supposed to be broken. His sword, Gladius, is supposed to be chipped and messed up. He is supposed to be a bit of a mess, but again, the casting quality is pretty nice. Both feet on the ground. Yes, I need to clean up some of the flash still on there. I could not figure out for the life of me what this little flap was. I thought it was like a bit of an extra loincloth or something that actually hung off of there. Nope. It was supposed to be a, what's it, mullet style, back cover. I don't even know what they're called. I was thinking it's Philby, but that's something totally unrelated. So how do these guys match up to some of the other figures in the line? Grabbing some of our Ludus Magnus, because that is the school that Septimus here is supposed to be part of, with one of his bigger buddies. Some of the models do come on larger 40mm bases, but obviously these guys are on 30s, along with most of the other models in the line. So I know I had mentioned before, these guys are pretty big. I heard people say they were kind of small, which was a bit surprising, but grabbing, for example, a Space Marine in here, you can see they are a bit taller, much more in line with stuff like Kingdom Death. And considering that there was quite a bit of crossover in terms of both artists and sculptors involved in both projects early on, that is not that surprising. So again, nicer than the last bunch, I think, in terms of ease of building. I know I didn't have to pin anything this time. Everything was nice and smooth. Despite the frailty of these parts, at least the look of frailty, they were pretty solid. I've had him take a couple spills, unfortunately, already. And Septimus here has survived unscathed so far, so hopefully his luck will hold in the arena as well. And until we see some plastic modular gladiators so we can, make dudes like these, I think these are still probably the nicest looking in terms of sculpt quality and just overall aesthetics gladiators that you can find on the market today. And if you guys have any better suggestions, and for like pretty much non-fantasy ones, because unfortunately the fantasy ones kind of get a bit silly. I know there's a few here and there. Avatars of War made some nice ones a few years back, because I actually painted those. There's the ones from Lovecraft Designs that I've shown off before, but if you guys have some other ones, is it Jugula, I think out of Spain, I am more than happy to hear your guys' suggestions, so by all means, fire them away. We'll put a link down below for the website, the web shop, if you guys want to take a look and browse that. I'm sure they would appreciate the business, and hopefully they will have something that strikes your fancy almost as much as mine. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.